name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So today's video is another episode of my Sunday sewing catch up, and I'm on episode 26. I always have to glance down and just check that I've got the number correct. So I'm going to be talking about things that I've sewn this week, some fabric that's arrived in the post that I ordered over Christmas, a couple of patterns and a few other bits and bobs. So before I get into that, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. I've worn this a few times before. I made this a couple of months ago, or maybe a month ago. It's quite a recent make, but it is the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit made in this amazing tie-dye cotton jersey fabric. It's the weekend and we're just staying at home this weekend. Unfortunately, Lola tested positive to COVID on Thursday, so they have to test. She's at secondary school, so they have to test before they return. It came back positive. We have been testing pretty much every day anyway. Got that confirmed by a PCR, so she's self-isolating at home. The rest of us are fine. We haven't tested positive, and we are testing every day. I have to test for my job anyway, but as a result, we are staying at home this weekend, which has meant that we've watched lots of films together. And I've also been able to do a little bit of sewing. I haven't done a huge amount of sewing this week, and I've only got two things to share with you today. But you'll notice that I haven't got my rainbow light behind me, and that's because she's sleeping on her own at the moment, so she wanted to use the rainbow light as a little night light to help her, because normally she shares a room with her sister. So yes, I'm wearing the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit, so nice and cosy, perfect for when I just want to do some sewing at home. I'll stand up so you can see what it looks like, but you've got the waistband at the front and the waistband at the back, and then it's got these lovely deep pockets. There's pleats at the front, and then there's darts in the back as well. It's got quite a tapered leg, so if I stand up you'll be able to see it's quite a tapered leg. I haven't got my socks on today because I'm just wearing my slippers at home, but that is what I'm wearing. So like I mentioned, I've only got two things that I've sewn up this week. It has been the start of a new school term, which has been really lovely. It's been great to see the children. They were super excited to be back. We had lots of children running through the gate, and they've been really excited to tell me what they got up to over Christmas as well. So it's just been really lovely. But the start of term is always quite hectic, and there's always lots and lots of things going on. It takes a while to get back into the swing of things as well. And we've just had lots and lots of things going on with a few changes at school. So it has been quite a busy week. I've had to bring a lot of work home because we're busy sorting different things out at school, like books and things. So it's meant that I haven't really had chance to do any sewing in the evenings. I did do some sewing on, I think it might have been Tuesday when it was the first day back, because we had an inset day. So I thought I'd treat myself to a little bit of sewing time. And then I did a little bit of sewing yesterday and this morning, so I've managed to get two things finished. Both of them coincidentally are lilac, so I've got some lilac yantas that I wanted to get sewn up, and I wanted to get these sewn up before Christmas, but I just didn't get a chance to finish them, or even start them should I say. And then the other one is something that I cut out I think about 2 years ago, and whilst I was sewing up the yantas I thought I might as well dig this project out and get it sewn up because it's the same colour, so I could use the same thread. So I'll get my Yanta overalls to show you first, and I will put pictures in if I manage to get pictures taken of me wearing them. But I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. I've made three pairs of Yanta overalls so far. It's a Helen's Closet pattern. I absolutely love the fit of them. They're super comfortable. They have a little vibe of like Lucy and Yak dungarees, and whenever I put them on, people always ask, are they Lucy and Yak dungarees? So I really love the fit of them. You're supposed to finish them with a button fastening, but I always use the dungaree fastening, which I'll show you in a second. Lots and lots of pockets. You've got a bib pocket, patch pockets on the front, patch pockets on the back as well. And I just really love the fit of them. I find them super comfortable. I've worn them just like when I'm out and about with family, but I've also worn them loads to school, and they're absolutely perfect for a day of teaching. So this pair is in a stretch denim that I got from Simi Sunshine, this gorgeous lilac colour. If I hold it up you can see. So I've chosen to finish it with silver dungaree buckles, and then the last thing I'm going to do is put on a patch on the front. I asked on my Instagram stories for help in choosing a patch. I'll grab the patch in a second so you can see, but it was a patch that came in the Kylie and the Machine advent calendar that I opened in the month of December. So I think it would go perfectly on that bib pocket, so I'm going to iron that on because it's just an iron-on patch. So this is what the dungarees look like. You've got that bib pocket on the top, There's loads of top stitching with this pattern, so I will say that if you're not a fan of top stitching, there's tons of top stitching. My pocket looks wonky, but I assure you it's not wonky. So you've got the big bib pocket, and then you've got the patch pockets on the front, and then if I turn over the dungarees, you'll be able to see patch pockets on the back, and I always take my time making sure that they are even, those pockets. There's some top stitching where you've got the straps coming out at the back, which I really enjoyed doing, and then there's lots of top stitching on the front as well. It's got adjustable straps, so that's why I choose to use the dungaree clips, because they're adjustable. I just find it a lot easier. And then they're not like super wide, they're ever so slightly tapered at the bottom, but they are quite a relaxed fit. I really love this pattern. I cannot speak more highly of it because it's super comfortable. The instructions really hold your hand throughout as well. If I get the patch first, I'll show you what the patch looks like, and then I'll get the pattern so I can talk to you about the pattern. So this is the patch that I'm going to put on that says "Making is Magic." There was another patch which was like a sewing machine. There was another patch that was a sewing box that had like threads and things, that was lilac, but the overall vote, I think there was about 80% votes that went for this one. So I'm just going to pop it on the pocket like that. I can't quite decide where. I think I've asked this question before about where to position it. I know it's definitely going on the bib pocket. I think I might just put it quite central on the bib pocket. I'll play around with it and see what I think. I don't think it looks right up there. I could put it in one of the corners. I need to play around with it and think about it, but I'm definitely going to put this patch on, Making is Magic. I think it's a really beautiful patch, and I want to make sure that I do end up using the patches and the labels that came in the Kylie Machine advent calendar. So that's the first thing that I got sewn up, and I've sewn that pattern up a couple of times, so I really know the instructions well. I find it quite therapeutic because there's a lot of top stitching and pressing and measuring and things, so it is quite a nice sew because you can get yourself really lost in the sewing process. So let me grab the pattern for you. So here are some line drawings. You can make a shorts version or you can make the trouser version. So all of my versions have been this one. So as you can see, you've got the patch pockets on the front and the bib pocket, and then the patch pockets on the back. There are darts here just where you've got that curve near the hips, and then there's darts on the back as well. Really, really comfortable to wear, and I absolutely love sewing them up. Let me just find more line drawings for you on the models. So you've got view A and then you've got view B, and they're quite a relaxed fit. In terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend medium to heavyweight wovens such as cotton twill, denim up to 10 ounces, linen, corduroy and canvas, and I've made them in a stretch denim. It's only got a tiny amount of stretch to it. And I've also made them in a corduroy. Corduroy is my favourite. It's quite chunky and they feel really cosy. The denim feels slightly more lightweight, but that's the weight of the denim that I've gone for. Crisp, lightweight fabrics such as cotton and lightweight linen can also be used for warmer weather overalls. Use more drapey fabrics like a tencel twill, wool crepe or linen viscose slub if you want to experiment with a softer, less structured look. I'm really pleased with the way that they've turned out and the way that they look. They're super comfortable. They come in US sizes 0 to 30. There is an option to put an invisible zipper down the side, but what Helen recommends you do first is baste the dungarees, try them on, because I haven't needed to use a zipper for the side at all, but you may need to. So that is something that you might need. It's a 5-inch invisible zipper, and then two 2-centimetre buttons, unless you choose to use the dungaree clips, which is what I've gone for. And I just, if I undo that, I just bought the dungaree clip pack, so you get the button that you just press on, and then with the strap, you just insert the dungaree clip section. I find that the most easiest and most comfortable because it means you can adjust them easily. So if I find the sizes for you, so in terms of sizes, for a size 0, so this is a US size 0, it's a high bust 29 inches, full bust 31 inches, a waist measurement of 24 inches and a hip measurement of 33 inches. And then for a US 30, it's a 54-inch high bust measurement, 56-inch full bust measurement, 48-inch waist measurement and 58-inch hip measurement. I will put pictures in so you can see what the dungarees look like on me, but I've got loads of jumpers and blouses that I can wear underneath. And then when I talk at the end what my sewing plans are for next week, there's a blouse that I really want to get sewn up that I think is going to go perfect with my Yanta overalls. So that's the first thing that I got sewn up. And then the second thing, oh, actually I've got 3 things sewn up, but this one hasn't completely been sewn up, but I did repair my Anna Allen Pomona pants. So I shared this over Christmas when we had a big move around and sort out. I changed my girls' bedroom around and moved their beds and things. When I was moving them, I accidentally tore the bottom of my Pomona pants. So I had a massive hole on this section, which still can't understand how I managed to rip them, because they're quite a loose fit on me, and they're meant to be quite a loose fit. But I ended up sewing either side of the rip. I hand sewed first, then I used my machine, and then I reinforced it with some stitching on my machine, and then I also overlocked the frayed edges too, and you can't tell that there was a hole in them at all, and I've worn them and they're still super duper comfortable as well. So I did manage to get round to repairing my Pomona pants. I'm terrible at repairing things because it's such a simple thing to do, but to me it's not like creating a brand new garment, so I do find it quite a boring job to do. But I'm really pleased that I've managed to get those fixed. And then the final thing that I got sewn up, as you can see, it is in lilac, so still sticking with the same colour theme. And it is a pattern that I cut out absolutely ages ago, and then I just didn't get round to sewing it up. I've made this dress once before in a red, and I used the same fabric type, which is a double gauze, and it's a pattern by Kokawawa Crafts. I absolutely love Anna's patterns. They always hold your hand throughout the process. And the pattern that I used is the Plum dress. So you've got this sort of baby doll sort of version, or you've got a full dress with elbow length sleeves. So I mashed the two up. I've gone with this bodice with the lovely frill here, and a dropped shoulder, and I didn't put the sleeves on because I don't think I had enough fabric, although I cut it out absolutely ages ago, so I can't remember whether I just decided not to do the sleeves. And then I've gone for the longer length skirt, and it's gathered. So I've talked before on my channel about not really being a big fan of double gauze, and the reason I sewed this up is because it was already cut out and I thought I might as well try it. So I have sewn it up, I've tried it on. It's quite a loose fitting dress, which isn't really my style, although I like to go with like the Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress, which is quite loose and quite flowy, and I really like the Deer and Doe Myosotis dress, which again has got lots of gathering, lots of ruffles, and is quite loose. But with the Myosotis, you've got that button placket down the front, which makes it feel a little bit more fitted, and then with the indigo dress you've got the bust darts, which makes the bodice feel a little bit more fitted, whereas this one hasn't got any bust darts. You can see on the front it has got a button placket down the back, as you can see, but the bodice is quite oversized and it is quite a loose fitting bodice. I went for the ruffle, so it's a dropped shoulder with a ruffle. So the ruffle comes, it sort of stops about here. The skirt is gathered and it is a very oversized pattern. So it's something I'm having to sort of get myself used to. I really love the colour. I haven't got a huge amount of lilac in my wardrobe, but it is a colour that I'm absolutely loving at the moment. And just for a little bit of extra detail, I've had this patch in my stash for about 3 years. It's a lilac-y pink sequin patch. It was just an iron-on patch, and I've just added it onto the dress just for a little bit of extra detail, and I really like the way that that shimmers. And then on the back I've used Pigeon Wishes buttons, which I've got sort of navy in them, sort of a browny colour, pinks, and a little bit of lilac, and I think that they add a nice little detail on the back of the dress as well. I think it's something that will be really lovely to wear to work. It's got pockets as well. Let me show you where the pockets. So it's got pockets on either side, and the pockets are quite deep. So I think it will be something that'll be really comfortable to wear to work. At the moment, I'd have to layer it up with a cardigan and also some tights, just to make sure that I'm nice and cozy and warm. But I'm really pleased that I've got it sewn up, because it's been sat in my work in progress pile box for a good couple of years. So it's really nice to get it sewn up. And this year, one of my sew resolutions is to tackle some of those work in progress projects. I've got quite a lot, probably about 3 or 4 projects that I've cut out and I just haven't got around to sewing yet. So I want to make sure that I tackle those projects over the course of this year. A couple of the projects are trousers that I think the fear of fitting the trousers has put me off wanting to dive in and sew them, but I feel a bit more confident this year tackling fitting. I've fitted quite a few garments to my body last year, and I feel a bit more confident about what I need to do to tweak the fit. So I'm going to tackle those trousers that have been sat in my work in progress box for about 6 months, and I'm really pleased that I've managed to tackle that dress. So I'll explain a little bit more about the Plum dress, just in case you haven't heard of it. So the Plum dress is a super wearable baby doll style dress with drop shoulders, inseam pockets and a relaxed fit. It comes with 2 different skirt lengths, mini or midi, as well as 3/4 length sleeves and cuffs or no sleeves but a cute ruffle detail, which is what I went for. Perfect for the summer months. So it's not a pattern that necessarily screams winter, but I think I would definitely be able to layer it up and keep myself nice and cozy. The back bodice has got the button placket down the back to be able to put the dress on and off easily. The skirt's gathered and then the neckline is finished with bias tape. So I used the same fabric to finish the neckline on the dress. Suggested fabrics: light to medium weight woven fabrics with drape like a cotton, a lawn, a chambray rayon, viscose linen, double gauze, crepe, flannel, light denim, light needle cord or corduroy. So there's quite a lot of fabric recommendations for this pattern. If I go on to sizes, so you've got a UK 6 and it goes up to a UK 24. So for a UK 6, which is a US 2, it's a bust measurement of 31 inches, a waist measurement of 23 inches and a hip measurement of 31 inches. And then for a UK 24, it's a 48-inch bust, 41-inch waist and a 49-inch hip measurement. I went for a UK 8, which is a 33-inch bust. My bust is a 34-inch bust, but because it's quite a relaxed fit, it was absolutely fine and it fits me really nicely. And then the waist measurement for a UK 8 is a 25-inch waist. My waist fluctuates sort of around 27-28 inches, so that would have put me in a UK 10, possibly a UK 12, but I knew that it was quite an oversized pattern, so I knew that the UK 8 would fit me absolutely fine. And my hip measurement is 35 inches, which does put me in a UK 10, but I went with the UK 8 because there's a lot of room around the hip and waist area, so I knew that it would be absolutely fine. Really, I wanted to make sure that it fit across my bust, and it does fit really nicely. So here are some more line drawings so you can see. So you've got, this is version B, which is the shorter length skirt. It hasn't got the sleeves on and it's just got the ruffle at the drop shoulder. And then you've got version A, which has got the longer skirt and then it's got the 3/4 length sleeves. So I went for this bodice, but this skirt, and I'm really pleased with the length of it because I think it will keep me nice and cozy in the winter. So those are all of the things that I got sewn up this week. I'm really pleased that I managed to get my Pomona trousers repaired because they're back in my wardrobe now and I've worn them a couple of times. And then I'm also really pleased that I got the Plum dress finally sewn up after cutting it out absolutely ages ago. And then my Yantas, I wanted to get sewn up before Christmas to join in with the cut one pair lilac lovers party, but I just didn't get a chance to sew them up. So I'm really pleased that they're sewn up too. So the next thing that I wanted to share with you today is some fabric that has arrived. So I've got a great big pile of fabric that arrived from Rainbow Fabrics. They had a big sale on over Christmas. I'm not buying any more fabric now. I said this, I think, in my last video, but these were fabrics that I bought over Christmas. So I'm not counting them for this year. That I've got a couple more pieces of fabric and patterns that are arriving that I ordered in December. But from the month of January, which is now, I'm not buying any more fabric or patterns. I'm only getting my So Hayley Jane box that arrives. And any blog fabric. So I blog for Felicity Fabrics, and I have got a blog that I'm currently in the process of sewing up and writing up. And then I'm also a fabric ambassador for Abercorn Fabrics, so any fabric that comes from them I will be showing in these videos. But at the moment I'm on a fabric ban. I've got so much fabric, and at the end of this video I'm going to talk through what I've started to do to document all of the fabric that I've got in my stash, because I think one of the main reasons why I don't sew up all of the fabric, one is fear, because I've got some really beautiful fabrics that I'm scared to cut into, and two is I just forget what I've got in my stash because it's quite a big stash at the moment. So I want to use the year 2022 to get a handle on my stash and sew up some of these gorgeous fabrics that I've got. So let me get my list so that I can talk through all the different fabrics that I've got. Some of them I've got firm plans for, some of them I'd really love your suggestions. So I'm just going to pop the fabrics on the floor. So I'm going to start with a pastel check wool mix, which I've got 2 meters of. So these are all from Rainbow Fabrics. If they've got any of them in stock, I will link them down below so you can go and check them out if you want to. But I absolutely loved the pastel colours within this wool check fabric. It feels super soft and snuggly. Now, when I ordered this, I originally thought I would turn it into a coat. It's actually quite lightweight. Although it's a wool, it does feel quite lightweight, so I'm not sure if this would work for a coat. So what I'm actually thinking of doing with it is turning it into a coatigan. So I've got the Sew Over It Jessie coatigan, which I made in a wool last year, I think it was, from Fabric Godmother, and I wear it all the time. So I think, because this feels lovely and soft, I think this would work really well for the Jessie coatigan, and that's what I'm going to turn it into. You can see that it's got some drape to it, and it does feel quite lightweight. If I hold it up, you'll be able to see it has got quite a bit of drape to it. It's not quite as thick as I would expect from a wool. I shared the cobalt blue wool a couple of weeks ago that I got from Rainbow Fabrics, and that was really quite chunky, whereas this one isn't a chunky wool at all, but I think it would work really well as a coatigan. So that's what I'm going to turn it into. And like I said, I just love those colours. That mint green and that sort of pinky lilac colour I think works beautifully, and I'm loving check fabric at the moment as well. So firm plans for that one. I just need the time to cut it out and turn it into the coatigan, because I want to get that sewn up to be able to wear over the winter months. I think that'd be a really lovely cosy thing to wear. I've got some poly viscose crepe, which has got tiger prints all over it, and it's got dark green background with these blue tigers. So if I hold it up and show you, it's quite a heavyweight fabric, I think, because it's got that crepe texture to it. It's got these tigers all over it. Now the green is coming up slightly more sort of brighter with a bit of a yellow tone to it on the screen, but it's not. It's more of a darker colour, a darker green background. I love those tigers all over it. I got 3 meters of this fabric. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to turn it into. It's got that crepe texture to it. Although it feels quite sort of a medium weight, it has got that gorgeous drape to it. And the tiger print is quite large, so I'm really not sure what I'm going to turn this into, but I absolutely loved that tiger print. I love anything with tigers on, and I really love the way that that drapes. I feel like it needs to become a dress of some sort, but I'm not quite sure what. Maybe something that's got lots and lots of gathers and ruffles all over it. So maybe the Myosotis or the indigo. I need to have a little think about this fabric, but I got 3 meters. Got a lovely amount of drape, and I really want those tigers to be showcased in whatever I turn this fabric into. And then I got some of this indigo satin, which was listed as a Zara fabric. I love that shimmer. It's got sunshines and stars and moons and hearts all over it, and this is going to become a slip. So I got 2 meters. I keep looking down because my notebook's just down there. I got 2 meters of this, and this is going to become the Friday Pattern Company saltwater slip, which I'm really looking forward to trying. I've got a couple of fabrics that I want to use to turn into the saltwater slip, and this is one of them. It's got such a gorgeous drape to it, and it feels so lovely because of that satin. It's really lovely and silky, and I think that's going to turn out really nicely for the saltwater slip. I think it will drape absolutely beautifully. So I'm looking forward to turning that into the saltwater slip. And I've got 2 meters of that one. I'm not sure if they've got any of this left because it was really popular, but if they have, I'll link it down below for you. And then I got some polyviscose Moroccan fabric, which has got stars and moons all over it again. I really loved that print. This is going to become a blouse of some sort, possibly the Anna Allen Anthea blouse, because I think this would work really nicely with my black Yanta overalls. It's got a lovely amount of drape, and I think this would work really nicely with that sleeve detail that you get with the Anthea blouse. It's got gorgeous drape, and it's really lightweight. It moves so beautifully. I can't tell if it's, yeah, it is a little bit see-through, but I think as a blouse it would work absolutely fine. Like, you can't see what I'm wearing underneath. Really love the print. If I gather it up so you can see what the print looks like, it's got these stars, mainly stars all over it, and moons. I just think it's a really lovely subtle print, And I love the way that that fabric moves. It's got an ever so slight sheen to it. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks ever so slightly shiny, but it feels really lovely as well. So I'm looking forward to sewing up a blouse using that fabric, and I got 2 meters of that. And then the last one is a little bit different to what I usually buy, but I really loved the rose detail on this fabric, and it was super cheap. I think it was like £3 a metre. So I got 4 meters of this fabric. It's described as 3D rose fabric. If I hold it up so you can see, it is see-through. So it's almost like a sort of a lace detail fabric. And I just really loved that 3D rose detail. Now on the website, I didn't pick up the fact that it's got this silver sort of glitter all over it. I might have to fold it up so you can see. It's got this sort of silver glitter all over it. I'm not so keen on the silver glitter detail, I have to be honest. What I really loved was the rose detail, that 3D rose detail. And what I'm thinking of doing with it is turning it into, I haven't got a specific pattern in mind, but I've got a couple of patterns that I want to try and sort of hack together to create the dress that I've got in my mind. I want to create a dress that has got quite voluminous sleeves, so I'm thinking of using the sleeve pattern from the Anthea Allen blouse because I love that sleeve detail. And then I'm also, or I could use the Tilly and the Buttons Billy jumper big balloon sleeve to create those longer sleeves, because I'm thinking that's what I want it to be. I want to see that beautiful rose detail on like a sleeve. I really love that sort of feature, and I want to really use all of that fabric. So I might end up either extending the sleeve pattern for the Anthea Allen blouse, or I'll use the Billy sleeve pattern from Tilly and the Buttons, because I've done that before on an indigo dress, and just gather it. I'm not quite sure, but I want to have like a gathered poofy sleeve. I know that much. Gathered into elastic or gathered into a cuff. And then I want to somehow use the ruffles that you get from the floor dress that I made. I'll put an image in of what that looks like. The floor dress has got these gorgeous ruffles that come down the front and gorgeous ruffles that go down the back. And then I'm thinking of using the bodice for that, but I'm not sure whether that bodice would work because it's a wrap bodice, and then you finish the armholes with bias, but I want to attach a sleeve, so I need to work out whether that bodice would work with a sleeve attached to it. Otherwise I'll have to look at other patterns that I've got. And then I want to use a layered skirt, so I'm not quite sure which pattern I'm going to use for the skirt yet, but I want to have a layered skirt that goes all the way down to the floor, and possibly use a couple of layers of this. So I might put 2 skirts on, if that makes sense, an underskirt and then an overskirt using the same fabric. Hopefully I've got enough fabric to do that. So I've got a couple of pattern ideas in my head. I haven't seen a dress that looks like this, but I've seen bits and bobs of dresses on Pinterest and on Instagram, and when I've just done a Google search, and I've got this idea in my head of what I want this dress to look like. I have absolutely nowhere to wear this dress to, but sometimes I just really enjoy trying out an idea that I've had in my head just for the fun of it. But I'd love your advice on how to remove the glitter. It comes off in my fingers, so I'm wondering if I put this on like a cold wash in the washing machine, would that wash off the glitter? Please let me know if you've got any tips, because it's on all of the roses, but I really do just want to remove that glitter because I'm not keen on that glitter detail. I just want it to be a black dress, and then I want it to be sort of see-through like it is on different parts of my body, particularly my arms. And then for the skirt, with a couple of layers of the roses, hopefully it won't be quite so see-through, but you'll just get that beautiful detail. It drapes absolutely beautifully, and I've had this idea in my head for ages. I just didn't have the fabric, and then when I saw this on sale on Rainbow Fabrics website, I thought I might as well go for it. I think it came to about £12 for 4 meters of this fabric. So for an experiment, it doesn't matter if it goes too drastically wrong, and hopefully I'll have a little bit of fun along the way trying to recreate the dress that I've got in my mind. So that was the final fabric that I wanted to share with you. So please do let me know if you've got any tips for removing that glitter that's on all of the roses. I could just try and pick it off with my hands, but I think I'd be there forever because I've got 4 meters of this fabric. So please let me know in the comments below if you've got any advice for me on how to remove that glitter. So that was all of the fabrics that I wanted to share with you today. And then I've just got a couple of patterns that I wanted to talk to you about. And they are patterns that I've got from Sew Over It. So I ordered them as PDFs, they're PDF patterns, and I've ordered them as copy shop printing. So that arrived yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to print out the instructions. So I haven't got any actual physical instructions or line drawings to show you, but I will put images in of what the patterns look like. But I've got all of the pattern details written down here. So I just thought I'd let you know what the patterns were and a few details of the patterns. So the first one is a cardigan pattern. So I've been looking for a cardigan pattern for a while. I have got lots and lots of jumpers and t-shirts and blouses and dresses, but I don't have quite so many cardigans. And then Sew Over It released the Marnie cardigan pattern. I think it might have been their last pattern release, so maybe in December. It's a long line cardigan, sits just off the shoulder. It's got a wide neckband, and then it's got really roomy pockets. I really like the style of the cardigan. It looks quite relaxed fit, and it can go with different outfits, and they showcase the models wearing it with different types of garments too. So I really like the look of it, and I think it would work really well with lots of things that I've got in my wardrobe. So there's two lengths, either over the knee or midi, and then in terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend light to medium weight fabrics like a viscose or a bamboo fabric that drapes, or French terry, cotton jersey for more of a structured cardigan. It's a pattern that's aimed at confident beginners, and then they've also done, which is something I really like about Sew Over It, they've also done a sew along over on their YouTube channel. So if there are any fiddly bits that you don't quite understand, you can go and watch the sew along on their YouTube channel. I've done that for a couple of their patterns, and it's really helpful having the sew along. It comes in sizes UK 6 to UK 30, and they've separated that into two size bandings, so UK 6 to 20 or an 18 to 30. So for a UK 6, it's a bust measurement of 31 inches, a waist measurement of 24 inches and a hip measurement of 34 inches. And then for a UK 30, it's a bust measurement of 57 inches, a waist measurement of 50 inches and a hip measurement of 60 inches. I really love the look of the cardigan. I really love, there's a model wearing like quite a drapey version, and then there's also a model wearing quite a structured version, and I think it would work in a whole range of fabrics. I really like the two different lengths as well, and it looks like quite a straightforward sew. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a try. I need to dig out some fabrics that I've got in my stash. I know that I've got a couple of jersey fabrics that would work perfectly for a cardigan. So I'm looking forward to giving that pattern a try. They've also got quite a big sale on over the, on their website at the moment. So I did get a couple of pounds off that. I think it was like 20% off the cardigan pattern, and when I checked this morning before I did this video, the sale is still on, but I think it's only on for a couple more days. So I'll link that pattern down below if you want to go and check it out. And then the other pattern that I got as part of the VIP, they do like a, what's it called, Sew Over It VIP club. So it's £10 to sign up for the club. I've signed up for the last 3 or 4 years to their VIP club. And within that, you get a free PDF pattern. So it's worth signing up just to get the free PDF pattern, because that's the same price as the £10 it is to subscribe to the club. And then you also get access to the new pattern. They bring out a new PDF pattern each month. And within the sneak preview of that pattern, you also get a little 10% off the pattern. If you like the look of it, you can go and buy it and get 10% off. They give you a little discount code. You also get access to sales that they have across the year. You get first access to the sales, and sometimes they do discounts just for the VIP club. There's also a group that you can join for the Sew Over It VIP club over on Facebook, and that's really lovely because you get to see the pattern insiders. They quite often share their versions of the new PDF pattern, so it's great because you can see it on a whole range of bodies and different sizes, which I always find really useful. And then you can also ask over there for help with sewing up anything. It's a really friendly community over on the Facebook group. So as part of the free PDF, I decided to go for the ultimate jeans pattern. I've got a couple of jeans patterns that I haven't sewn up yet because I'm terrified of making jeans. It's the fitting of the jeans more than the technique of sewing them, because I've done a fly, zip fly, you know, I've added hardware to like denim jackets, I've sewn with denim, I've sewn with corduroy. So it's not actually the physical act of sewing the jeans, it's more getting the fit right. So over on their YouTube channel, they have got a sew along for the ultimate jeans, which is one of the reasons why I went for that pattern. So I got the ultimate jeans pattern. There are, like I said, there's 2 sew alongs. There's a part 1 and a part 2 sew along over on their YouTube channel, so it can really help and hold your hand throughout the process of sewing the ultimate jeans as well. So the ultimate jeans, you get 3 different styles. You get the cropped mum jeans, a straight leg or a slightly flared leg for a vintage feel. You get all of the classic jeans features like the top stitching, the hardware, the coin pocket, and then there's also really clear illustrated instructions. You learn lots of classic techniques for trouser making. They do recommend that you toile the jeans before you make them in your main fabric. And then over on their Stitch School, if you're a member, there's an ultimate guide to sewing and fitting jeans, which includes 60 videos. So it's a really broken down step-by-step guide to sewing the jeans. It's an intermediate sewing pattern. It's aimed at intermediate sewists. There is the Sew Along on YouTube with Lisa, but then you can also get access to the videos on Stitch School if you are a member. They recommend medium weight woven fabrics like a non-stretch denim, a corduroy and twill. And then in terms of sizes, it comes in their UK sizes 6 to 30, which is separated into the 2 size bandings. So a UK 6 to 20 or an 18 to 30. So for a UK 6, they only give you the waist or hip measurement because it's a jeans pattern. So for a UK 6, it's a waist measurement of 24 inches and a hip measurement of 34 inches. And then for a UK 30, it's a waist measurement of 50 inches and a hip measurement of 60 inches. So I am going to have to think really carefully, and I will be toiling the jeans because I sit across a couple of sizes. My waist is a 27-inch waist at the moment, but it does fluctuate, and then my hips are a 35-inch. So I know that I'm going to sit across a couple of sizes. So I'm going to have to think really carefully about which sizes I go for, and I'm probably going to have to grade between a couple of pattern sizes as well. So for that reason, I have actually signed up to their Stitch School. So I thought I'd let you know about their Stitch School as well. I've only just signed up because they've got a sale on at the moment, so there's a discount on your Stitch School membership. So with their Stitch School, there are 2 different subscriptions. There's the basic, which is £5 a month, and within that you get access to 130 different tutorials, 1 workshop and 1 masterclass, and then 4 PDF patterns. Or you can sign up to their, what do they call it, premium, which is £15 a month, and then you get access to 130 tutorials, 10 workshops and 11 masterclasses, 29 PDF patterns. There's new classes every month, expert teachers, and that's the same for the basic. And then it's a 3-month minimum sign up, and that's the same for the basic as well. It's a 3-month minimum sign up. So I've signed up to their premium because I thought I'd have a look at what the PDF patterns are on there. And actually they've got a poof pattern, which I'm looking forward to giving it a try. It's a poof pattern which you use gathering stitches, and then you put a covered button on the top and the bottom. And I really like the look of that poof. I've got the Closet Core poof free pattern, which I've tried a couple of times, but I'm really looking forward to trying the Stitch School poof pattern as well. The main reason I signed up to their Stitch School was the access to the 60-step sew along for the ultimate jeans, because I really want to nail jeans this year. So I'm looking forward to giving that ultimate jeans pattern a try, and also using the tutorial on the Stitch School to help me along the way. I think this is going to be an ongoing project that I do bits here and bits there, so I will update you on how I get on with sewing up the ultimate jeans. But I just wanted to let you know about the pattern and also the Stitch School, and I'll also update you on my experiences of Stitch School as well, because it's something that I've been toying with the idea of signing up to. Already I really like the look of it, I really like the masterclasses, and I really like the look of all the PDF patterns that are on there too. It's a 3-month sign up, and then you can cancel it if you want to. So I'm going to see if I find it useful, and if I do, then I'll keep my subscription going. Otherwise I'll cancel it after 3 months. It'd be great to hear if you have signed up to Stitch School and if you found it useful as well. So then the final thing I wanted to finish with was my sewing plans for the next week or the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to spend a bit of time today cutting out some things. So the first thing that I want to sew and get cut out, actually I haven't cut it out at all, is using this Liberty Tana Lawn fabric that I got from Abercarn Fabrics as part of my Abercarn Ambassador roll. It's absolutely beautiful. I got 1 metre of this, but I know that with some pattern Tetris, I can definitely get a sagebrush top, Friday Pattern Company sagebrush top, out of 1 metre of fabric. And I think this would look really cute with my Yanta overalls in the lilac denim. So I really want to get this sewn up. I love that fabric. Liberty fabric is just absolutely gorgeous. And they have, this was on sale, and they have got some Liberty fabric still on their website that's on sale, so I'll link it down below. Sadly, this is out of stock now, but if I find it anywhere else, I'll link it for you. But I absolutely love that gorgeous floral detail. I love the pinks, and I also love that pop of green as well. So this is going to become a sagebrush top, and I'm hoping I can get that cut out and sewn up today, because it's a top that I'm really familiar with, and it sews up really nicely. The fiddliest part will be adding the bias to the neckband, because you add the bias around the neckline and then it fastens at the back and it creates this gorgeous little peephole type detail in the top. And then I've got a couple more pieces of fabric that I'm going to turn into Anthea Allen blouses, and also an Anthea Allen dress using the blouse pattern. So it does come in a dress pattern as well. This fabric I've had for absolutely ages. I love that green, that shade of green. It's like a jewel toned green. It's a viscose crepe, so it's got the texture of a crepe, and it's been sat in my stash for ages. And I feel like I just need to get it sewn up, and I know that when I turn it into the Anthea Allen, the Anna Allen Anthea blouse dress, I know that I will wear it loads. I think it's something that will work really well in my work wardrobe on those days that I'm not in class teaching. It's got such a gorgeous amount of drapes. I think it's going to work really nicely for those sleeves as well. So I'm really looking forward to getting that cut out and then sewing up a little bit across this week. I'm not sure if I'll get the whole thing sewn up this week because work's going to be quite busy, but I might get little snippets here and there done. Just love that drape. I think it's absolutely gorgeous fabric, and it deserves to be turned into something like a beautiful dress. And then this beautiful piece of fabric that's got all these gorgeous embroidered flowers all over it is going to become the blouse version of the Anna Allen Anthea pattern. So I'm going to use this to make the blouse. I think this will probably become something that I wear in the springtime. I'm not sure it will be suitable for winter, but you never know. I might be able to layer it up with a long sleeve top underneath. I just absolutely love that fabric. It's so beautiful with those embroidered flowers all over it. So I really want to get that cut out and sewn up as well. Probably not today. I'll get it cut out today, I think, because we're going to watch a film a little bit later. And maybe I'll start sewing it up across the next week or so. And then this is a little bit ambitious. I've got this gorgeous corduroy fabric which I want to turn into some Yanta overalls. So I'm not going to get these sewn up this week, but I'm definitely going to get this cut out, and I might be able to get it cut out today. Cutting out is my least favourite part of sewing, so I like to batch cut, and then I've got a few projects ready to go, which is how I end up with completely cut out projects that end up sitting there for about a year before I get around to sewing them up. But I'm really keen to have these Yanta overalls. It's such an autumnal colour that I think this will work really well for winter, so I'm really keen to get these sewn up as soon as possible really, so I can wear them. And I know that the Yanta pattern is something that I'm reaching for loads across my working week, but also at the weekend too. So I know that there's something that will get worn loads and loads. So I'm looking forward to getting those cut out and then hopefully start to sew them over the next couple of weeks. And then before I go, I thought I'd let you know what I've started doing with my fabric stash. I'm in the process of ordering my patterns a little better and just keeping a record of what I've got. And then I'm also doing the same with my fabrics. So I just bought an A4 notebook, just a plain notebook. I started taking the sticker off the front. I'm going to make a little label to go on the front using my Cricut Maker. But inside here, I'm just going to document all of the fabrics that I've got. Now, I know that there's loads of apps that you can use online, but I am someone that needs to actually physically see and feel the fabric in order to start thinking about what pattern would work for it. So what I started doing is cutting off a little swatch. And for some of the fabrics, I've already got swatches because they were sent within the package with the fabric. But for a lot of the fabrics, I don't have a swatch. So in here, all I've started doing is cutting out a little bit of the fabric, if I show you, and then just listing it within this notebook. So I've got the fabric there so I can feel it, and then next to it I've started writing what type of fabric it is and how much of that fabric I've got. So I've done it for quite a few of my fabrics, and I just think it will really help me. So with the cotton dobby, I can feel how lightweight that is. With the needle cord that I've got at the top, I can feel how lightweight that is. I can also remember what the fabric actually looks like and how vibrant the colours are as well. And I think that's just going to help me really plan what I'm going to actually turn these fabrics into. So I've done that with lots and lots of fabrics throughout this book. I've just got them a little swatch cut out. I've got so many beautiful fabrics that I absolutely love. All of these fabrics I absolutely love. And when I bought them, I had a project in mind, but I've just forgotten what they look like or what they feel like. or I might have changed my mind about what projects as well. So this will become my little swatch book of all the fabrics that I've got in my stash. So I'm going to make sure that I document all of the fabrics in here. And then when I do turn them into something, I'm just going to write next to it what I actually turned it into, put a big tick so I know that I've used that fabric. And I'm hoping that this will encourage me to sew up some of the gorgeous fabrics that I've got in my drawers behind me that have been sat there just waiting for the right project. And then once I've finished organising my PDF patterns and my paper patterns, I'll show you in a couple of weeks, because that's when I'll probably get around to finishing it because it's such a big job. I'll show you how I've organised that as well so that I can keep on top of all of my patterns, because that's the other thing. I forget quite often what patterns I've already got in my stash. So I think by having a record of all of the fabrics that I've got, like this, and then all of the patterns that I've got, it'll make it easier for when I come around to planning what I want to make. So I just thought I'd share that with you in case it's helpful or interesting to you. And like I said, I'll keep you updated on how I start to organise my PDF patterns and my paper patterns as well, just to keep a record of what I've actually got so that I stop buying new patterns when I've already got almost an identical pattern in my stash. And then the final thing that I'm planning to do over the next couple of weeks, and I've been really enjoying doing actually, is just watching knitting videos. This is the year that I am really going to get on board with knitting. I am terrified of learning to knit. I've had loads of advice from loads of different people. I've got everything that I need to learn to knit, and I've just been practicing the very basics. I haven't tackled a pattern yet, but I've just been practicing the basics because I know that I just need that repetitive. I know that I just need to keep going over the basics before I even start thinking about a pattern. And I've been watching lots of videos to try and decipher the jargon of knitting patterns as well, because it's like a whole other language. Sewing patterns I find really straightforward. You've got an image or a drawing, and then you've got sentences detailing what you need to do. With knitting patterns, it's numbers and letters, and I'm finding it really baffling to get my head around what those letters and those numbers mean as well. So I've just been really immersing myself, not worrying too much about physically knitting at the moment, but I've just been enjoying watching lots and lots of knitting videos to try and get my head around the terminology and the jargon that goes with knitting as well. But I have been really enjoying just immersing myself in that side of the knitting world, and I'm looking forward to eventually feeling confident enough to pick up my knitting needles and tackle something like a scarf or a snood. And I'll keep you updated with how I get on with my knitting as well. So that was everything that I wanted to share in this week's Sunday Sewing Catch Up. Thank you as always for coming by and watching my videos. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, it'd be really great if you could hit that subscribe button. I'll be back in the week with another video, and then I'll be back next weekend with my next Sunday Sewing Catch Up. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye.